with me is Masako Yonekawa. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
First of all, thank you for having me today. I am now working at Tsunami University. I'm in charge of the international career, but I'm also teaching like humanitarian assistance and peace building in Africa, especially in Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda, where I used to work before. Also on human rights issues, political issues as well. And the reason why I'm teaching this, not teaching, but sharing my experience rather, is because I used to work in the field in these two countries, Congo and Rwanda, plus other countries like Sudan, South Sudan, Republic of Congo, Tanzania, Somalia, South Africa, Liberia, etc. And with UNHCR, United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, which assists, protects refugees or internally displaced persons. And I found out that there's a lot of gap between the field and what so-called international community is thinking, you know. And I found that the international community is really using the top-down approach. Instead of having a dialogue with the people on the ground, they just, force, you should do this, you should do that, And they think that that's fine, that there's already peace, which is not true, of course, Peace building is a long process. And you need to talk with the people on the ground, especially those people who have suffered from war, other types of conflict, genocide. And then, you need to do it slowly. You cannot just say, okay, let's have an election, presidential election, let's just form a government, and then they will be okay. Everything should start from the bottom. But this approach, I found, is not being applied by many international organizations, including Japanese governments as well. So this is why I like to fill in the gap. I want to share my experience, observation with the young students, and make sure that they don't repeat the same mistakes. So I hope this is useful to the young people.
So why did you choose to do this kind of work in the first place?
I mean, with UNHCR?
Yes.
Actually, it was by chance. Because I was hoping to work in the field, but I wasn't sure which kind of field and which kind of area, first of all. But I read this book called Ningen no Daichi, which is written by Michiko. It was, I think it was a top bestseller in the 1980s. It talks about the poverty issues, the refugees issues, especially in Asia and Africa, the lives in refugee camps, etc. And I got so interested in this book. And then I said to myself, maybe this is the work that I like to do, work with people on the ground and then try to find a solution together. So, and then that's why I got interested in refugee issues. And I was looking for any organization which could send me to the field to work with refugees, but I couldn't find it right away. And at the time, United Nations was looking for some volunteers to work for the election supervisors and service in Cambodia. So that's how I got involved with UN first. And then later, they sent me to Africa.
So even though people coming from different countries, so we are different. We have different backgrounds, different culture.
Exactly.
So if we work together on something, you mean that still, even though we are different, we can reach some goal together.
If we have the same motivation,
yes.
Same objective, if objective is clear, serve for the people, I think we can do so. But fortunately, some people just think for only for themselves, and they don't necessarily work for the people on the ground who are suffering. So that's why there's a conflict, always a conflict. which is a normal thing, obviously, and we can never avoid this.
Yes.
But this is same in Japanese context or in outside Japan context.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. So, what's your goal for the future?
Since my main focus is Africa, and especially Congo and Rwanda, I like this area to be really peaceful, but not just end of the war. When I say peaceful, I'm not just saying that you just end the war, but make sure that there's a justice, social justice there, which can bring to long-lasting peace. And everybody use this word peace very, very easily, but it's not a cheap thing, of course. It's a very heavy thing, and everybody should work very hard for this. But everybody thinks that if you just send United Nations peacekeeping operation on the ground, or if you just send aid, food, or then the situation will be better. But if you go to the ground, it's not that simple. Because of this aid, because of the intervention, then maybe there's inequality which arises between those who have, those who don't have.
Yes.
So there's always some issues. So we cannot just take this matter simply, but make sure that we should plan really better and talk with the people on the ground, not just only with elite, but especially with those people who are suffering. So yeah, it's a long process. So that's my main objective. But also, I like not only Africa, but if Africa becomes peaceful, I think the world can be peaceful too, because Africa is the most victim. It's the biggest victim in the world, and all the problems are concentrated. Not just conflict or poverty, but also HIV/AIDS, also exploitation of natural resources, human trafficking, etc. So if this issue can be solved, which may be impossible during my time, right? But then I think the world can be a little bit peaceful. It's a challenging one.
Yeah. So nowadays, many Japanese people think about moving out from Japan. They are thinking about continuing their life somewhere else. So could you please give some message to such people?
I think I do encourage these people to go outside. I think they should ask themselves why they want to go outside. Is Japan not enough, or is Japan not very attractive, or what do they want to do outside? They just want to go out and hang around, or they just want to make friends, or what do they want to do? They have to ask themselves their area of concern, what their interest, or what is their specialty, for example. Yeah. So that's the first thing they should ask themselves. And also ask, why can they do this in Japan, Why it has to be abroad? Because there's so many things which can be done here, which can be more effective than going to abroad, because many people don't realize that if you go abroad and if you try to have a job there, that means that you're taking away the chances of jobs from the people on the ground, And there's so much unemployment issues, not only in Japan but outside. So if you're taking away the jobs from the local people, that can be sort of I'll say crime, and that can cause a resentment to the foreigners too, unless it's a job that these people can do. Then let the work give to let's try to give the chance to the local people. I think that's much better. It can be more efficient too, because it depends on what these young people are thinking. But unless you want to work there on a permanent base, if you're just thinking that, I just want to have experience for 1 year or 2 years, just like this, maybe for themselves it's okay, but for the people on the ground, maybe it's not satisfactory. So we have to think about the impact on the ground as well. not just think about themselves, about their own careers, think about other people's career as well. Yeah. So maybe that's my message. And also the third message is that, a lot of Japanese, especially diplomats, used to be called 3S. Have you heard this 3S before? It's a very notorious, not notorious, bad reputation, but sleepy, smiling, and silent, Especially when Japanese people are attending the international conference. Their presence is very invisible. They don't speak out, not expressing themselves. They just agree to what other people are saying. So that's why these 3S are being given.
Yes.
But I want to change this 3S to another 3S, which is strategic and strict and speak up. You have to have strategy for whatever you do. Especially it has to be done in a peaceful ways, not in violent ways. And strict is you have to be strict to yourself, but to the others as well. And speak up. You need to express yourselves more. Everybody thinks that you can communicate just by Facebook or Twitter, but you need to do face by face, and this is lacking in Japan. So that's a bad impact of social media as well. But there's so many things that we're missing from the face-to-face communication. So I do encourage the young people.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.